If gas goes up to $200 per barrel, the whole world's in trouble.
I mean, keeping cash in a bank is stupid. It's absolutely stupid right now.
The war is really about the petrodollar. You could literally be your own banker. It's like a banking system. You could buy things instead of borrowing from a lender. You borrow from your own life insurance policy. Buy whatever you want, invest it. Hopefully you're investing in assets. That's what I recommend. So getting your money out of the banking system, putting it in a private life insurance company is safer, in my opinion, than putting it in a bank.
Yeah, you're hoping, it's like gambling. You're hoping for the best odds to put it in the bank. And they can lend $10 for every dollar that's deposited. A bank can lend $10.
Yeah.
So that should scare you a little bit because it's like
it's all empty.
They're highly leveraged.
Welcome to the podcast. We haven't been here for a while. We've been a little busy, but today we're having our guest, our life insurance department leader, Rachel Charnet. Is it Charnet or Charnet?
Yes, Charnet.
Charnet.
Actually, I like Charnet better. Let's make it Charnet.
I'll go with Charnet. It's like Target and Target.
Yeah, I like the A better, you know?
Rachel has an extensive background in the life insurance practice. You come from Illinois originally.
Yes.
You got your license in the state of Illinois. And now you're here in Houston. You've teamed up with Fadaie Insurance to render life insurance protocols, vehicles.
Yes.
To our
I'm
customers.
also licensed in California, so that is but thank you for having me on the show. I'm really excited to be here.
Absolutely. So if you're listening and you're a client, you'll be hearing from Rachel Charnet very soon. But we're going to have a talk. We're going to discuss some life insurance today. We're going to talk about some spiritual, metaphysical things that also tie into life insurance, which we call assurance. So we're really happy to have you, and we'd like to have you come a few more times.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I'd be happy to.
My vision for the life department and you is, and I've participated in this before, so I know it works. I've done it with Ameriprise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where we send out an invitation to people in the Woodlands about something to do with life insurance.
Retirement
Planning or living benefits or whatever. We rehearse our presentation. We invite them to a steakhouse. And we invest the money. Fadaie will invest the money. They come out for a meal, and you might get 10 to 40 people sometimes. But even if you get 10 people, when you first start out, maybe you get 10 people. You do your presentation. So they get fed while they listen to information. That's all it is. But what does that do to your closing ratio? Very high.
Right.
Very high.
Because they've already experienced me. So there's rapport already built instead of trying to build it from scratch with a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're seeing us kinesthetically.
In person.
Eyeball to eyeball. They see our body language. They see who we are. Huge. And they're coming out.
And they're getting fed.
They're getting fed. and they're not forced to buy, but they have some level of interest. And they're going to get a meal. And they're going to learn. And that's how we get our name out. And they might start referring stuff out to you. But that would be the investment. That would be the investment. And there's companies that will do like a handwritten letter to a demographic of our choice. And then they'll come out for sure. I would. I mean, we would. You would. Be like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, we did it with our financial advisor.
Yeah, and it works.
You know, they would tell you about the market, what's going on, what's available, that kind of thing. So then it's like you get to go through the whole spiel of like accelerated death riders, you know, living benefits and infinite banking, all that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
because you get inspired by it when you're there in in the physical vicinity.
In the environment, yeah.
You get inspired by it. You're like, oh. So that's what I see happening if we really want to get, if you want to help people with bigger tickets like that.
That's ideal because then it opens the conversation for retirement, for example. Then you can talk about annuities and people that are getting ready to retire. They don't necessarily want all of their eggs in one basket. They don't want everything in the market because the closer you are to retirement, the more you're thinking, I want something that's guaranteed. I want to be, I want that security of knowing there's something guaranteed there.
Yeah, I mean, with the Iran war, global energy crisis is happening. Reason we don't see that, we only see it at the pump, is because the cargo ships were already out during the war. So we're just spending the last bits of that. The Strait of Hormuz is closed. So oil, urea, fertilizer, certain types of minerals that are very necessary for the world. There's no shipping right now. So what does that mean? That means there's volatility going to happen in the stock market. How does that affect people here? A lot of people will be forced to diversify, pull money out, and then they're going to want to protect that money. And that's where that's where insurance people come into the picture.
Yeah.
We are finance protectors. Don't look at an annuity as an investment. It's to protect your cash.
Right.
Yeah, your money will earn. It'll earn money. It'll accrue money in a life policy, which is indexed, but it has a safety net.
There's no floor.
No floor. It's safe. If you want to stretch your money, that's where these, presentations are going to be sought after. So people are like, oh God, bond market is going to crash. Everything is starting to be volatile right now. If gas goes up to $200 per barrel, the whole world's in trouble. As you can see, there's wars happening. There's geopolitical war chess played right now in the world. We're getting ready for round 2 with Iran. We're getting ready for round 2. This whole ceasefire is a farce. It was just to resupply because we were low on ammunitions. We lost that war. We don't want to admit it on Fox News and CNN. We lost that war. Everybody knows it. China knows it. He goes up there to China with licking his wounds. He's an old man now. You could tell by the body language. His ego's deflated because he couldn't do shit. He just couldn't. I'm just being honest.
Yeah,
I'm not taking sides. I'm just telling you what happened. So now, since we didn't have a place of strength to negotiate, and we're maximalists in our negotiations, and so are the Iranians, we're going to round 2. So now we're going to go to round 2. The end of the results of round 2 in that war, in the next war, which is probably the next couple of days, probably. Then we'll go back to negotiating. That's how it works. And then at that point, whoever's hurt the most will make concessions. Maximalism will hit reality. Their strategic power, they don't need a nuclear weapon. They have the Strait of Hormuz, which is even more powerful. Why? Because at the expense of Trump and our administration, the whole world is going to be suffering. So the world's going to pressure Trump, and Trump is being pressured by his Zionist friends. So round 2 is very necessary. How does that tie into insurance? Again, because of volatility, uncertainty, people want certainty. This is where life insurance policies, which is outside of the banking system.
Right.
That's what we should approach our presentation to.
And people are losing faith in their banks. There's so many banks that are actually closing their doors because crypto is actually very popular, and people are like, if I can manage my finances in a crypto environment, and then there's the stable coins and all of that that's coming into play, they don't have faith in the bank anymore. They're not keeping up with it's not competitive.
I agree.
And you're getting what, 1%, even if that, in a savings account. I mean, keeping cash in a bank is stupid. It's absolutely stupid right now.
Yeah.
And the best gurus will tell you the same thing. Don't take my word for it. Do your research.
This is common knowledge now.
Yeah.
You don't have to be an expert anymore. It's just common sense.
But I do think that the idea of a stable coin will help people at least have a little bit of faith in the government, whereas they don't right now.
Well, because it's the petrodollar, and the petrodollar is at stake.
Yep.
Yeah. The war is really about the petrodollar. The GCC community bought into the idea that you do business with us, the USA, we'll protect you. We'll give you security, but you trade with petrodollars when we buy your oil and then reinvest that into our stock market. That's been the play. Well, the Arab countries went along with that. Surely, you're the superpower, of course. Protect us. So we set up all these bases, we're protecting. Well, guess what? There were no protection. Iran decimated 13 US bases. Iron Dome didn't work. All of that was, again, a farce, right? So that's the problem. And now they're wanting to trade in the yuan. China is rising up. That's the bottom line, right? But back to insurance, gold and silver, stable coins, life insurance. I think those are really what people are going to be positioning themselves in. We're talking early right now. A lot of Americans don't want to listen to this. They don't want to hear it. Oh, no.
Just bury their head in the sand.
But guess what? You're burying your head in the sand.
Well, and people have a misconception about life insurance that it calls life insurance. You have to die to use it. But that is not accurate. There's living benefits. And life insurance is just a financial vehicle. It's just the wrapper around your life. It's just insured with your health. But it's so much more than just a life insurance policy.
Mm-hmm.
It can grow, for example, indexed universal life. That is indexed with the markets, but it doesn't. You don't lose at the bottom. That for some people it's huge because they want the security of knowing if the market tanks, I'm not going to lose, but I could have some of the upside potential. And
liquidity.
Yeah.
If that cash savings account in the life policy grows, you have access to that capital with a loan. That's liquidity.
Yes.
Yeah, and lower than you can get at the bank too.
Yes, much lower loan rates than you can get at the bank.
If you have $50,000 stored into this life policy, you have life insurance up to 100 years. So it doesn't run out. It's like buying a house versus renting. That's benefit number one. Benefit number two is what you said, has a floor so that if the S&P goes lower than a certain amount, your life policy will still keep you solvent. But it can also do more and it'll accrue more, right? The third benefit is what? Living benefits.
Yeah, there's chronic illness, critical illness. Even some policies even have Alzheimer's riders in there where if, God forbid, you get diagnosed with Alzheimer's and you can access those benefits. And a lot of the technology now, they're able to get on trial medications or something like that, and they can actually overcome the Alzheimer's, but they don't have to pay that money back. Yeah. They can use that for those experimental treatments or those.
They can use it however they want.
Yeah.
There's also within the permanent side of life insurance, disability.
Yes.
Isn't there?
Yeah.
Which is really, really valuable to have. Well, Alzheimer's is a part of that.
Would be part of that. another thing that people don't realize is that not all policies do this, but we usually work with providers that have the best benefits. And what people don't realize is that you're still getting a crediting rate. Like if you borrow from your indexed IUL, you're still getting credit as if that money was never withdrawn. So it's still growing an interest rate based on money that you've actually pulled out.
Yeah, you pulled it out. You're floating like the bank.
You're basically treating it like your own bank. Which brings us to
this. So for the people that are listening, life insurance today in modernity is kind of like a bank. You could literally be your own banker. It's like a banking system. You could buy things instead of borrowing from a lender. You borrow from your own life insurance policy. Buy whatever you want, invest it. Hopefully you're investing in assets. That's what I recommend. But still, you buy whatever you want and then make your monthly payments to your own bank.
Yeah. And to my previous point, no bank is going to credit you an interest rate on money that you borrowed.
Right.
No. Yeah.
So the principal is kind of ghostly in there still.
Yeah.
Accruing, even though you've liquidated some of it and are paying it back.
And some of the biggest entrepreneurs got their start by buying a permanent life insurance policy, like J.C. Penney. He started his stores, this chain of stores that was very successful for decades, off the proceeds of his whole life insurance policy.
Some people might say, well, how safe is it? Well, have you heard of the FDIC? Banks are insured by insurance companies.
Right.
So if you set up a life policy with, anybody, North American or Transamerica, these companies have been around for over 100 years, sometimes 200 years. So getting your money out of the banking system, putting it in a private life insurance company is safer, in my opinion, than putting it in a bank.
Yeah, you're hoping. It's like gambling. You're hoping for the best odds. Put it in the bank.
And so...
And they can lend $10 for every dollar that's deposited. A bank can lend $10.
Yeah.
So that should scare you a little bit because it's like...
It's all empty.
They're leveraging... They're highly leveraged.
And the gold, it's not based on the gold system anymore. 1976, I think it was Nixon who done away with that.
Yep.
So really, we're just it's fake money. It's a Ponzi scheme.
It's fiat.
It's a Ponzi scheme. But no, it is. Our banking system and our money supply is a Ponzi scheme. That's what it is. If you ask some of the greatest economic experts, this what you just described as a Ponzi scheme.
And I think that my job as a life insurance professional is to educate. My job is to educate.
Why do you think it's so hard for you to get through to people? Why is it like pulling nails?
Because they've heard so many things that are untrue. Mm-hmm. And nobody really wants to face their mortality. If you say life insurance, they're automatically like, well, I have to die to use it. I don't care. I'm still living. There's that element of not wanting to face one's own mortality. And that can scare people into not having the conversation. I've sat at kitchen tables, very uncomfortable conversations with a husband and wife. What happened? Asking, what happens to your family if you are not here? And those toe-to-toe conversations were actually easier than trying to do this over the phone or virtually because people, they physically become uncomfortable when you start talking about mortality.
Well, did you touch their toe while you were saying that?
I don't recall, but I don't think so.
That would be weird.
Hey.
What's wrong with this thing? No wonder you're not selling life insurance. Lord. So funny. But yeah, I mean, one of the things that is ingrained in people is buy term and invest the difference.
And that was what? World Financial Group.
Yeah.
Not even that. It's the Ramsey guy and it's
a lot of people say that.
And that's great if you're going to invest the difference, but most people don't. They just buy term.
Right.
They don't invest the difference because they don't have.
And then
Discipline.
30 years is up, and then they don't have insurance.
Yep.
And what
then-
happens after 20 years, 30 years, and the insurance runs out, term insurance runs out.
And then usually they have a health condition by then. They've seen the doctor. They're older.
The prices are way higher.
Prices are way higher, and sometimes they won't even qualify because most insurance companies won't accept somebody who's over 80. So they've had term for 30 years, 50 to 80. Now suddenly they've paid for something that they can't use, that they'll never use. They outlived its value, and they can't get it now because they're 80 years old.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's really true, because those people that say buy term, invest the difference, they stand to benefit from them potentially investing with them.
Right.
That's what they're in it for, you know?
Well, I would say if somebody can't afford permanent insurance, because it does have all of those other benefits that you do pay for with your premiums. There's modern insurance has convertible term, so you can convert it over time. So that would put somebody, let's say a couple who are in their 40s and they have a mortgage. Well, they're not always going to have that mortgage, or that mortgage could change. Their needs change. Their children grow up, but there's still an insurance need there. But they can convert that over time because they've already qualified for it once. So they don't have to re-qualify for new insurance when their term runs out. They can convert part of it as they go. As their finances change, as their needs change, they can grow with them, and they can have a term policy that starts out temporary and becomes permanent over time without having to redo anything.
So you recommend actually having 3 policies. Like one would be a term, which is inexpensive and it has a term, and you can probably get $1 million. You can get more face value. The second one would be a permanent policy with features, like we discussed, living benefit features with critical and chronic illness, with, doesn't lapse till 100, liquidity and all those good things, index IUL, where it can accrue. So that's the second one. But there would be a third one you could recommend.
Yeah, and that would be a container to build value for supplemental retirement income.
Right.
So that you are building something that will grow with you and you can retire with it.
Right.
So you take, you've put in for so many years and then you stop paying, and then you take income from that. And that can be designed
So that's more of a cash flow.
Yeah.
The third one is a cash flow thing. The second one is just pure life insurance that never runs out, right? And you have liquidity power. Then the first one is just like, hey, for these next 20, 30 growing years.
It's just covering risk.
Yeah.
It's just covering the risk.
Well, and when you're younger, there's more risk involved, right? Because if you have 3 kids like us,
You have more risk tolerance.
you
Yeah.
have more, like if we
Expenses.
were, unfortunately, if one of us passed, you would want more face value because you're going to have to take care of the kids and all of the other things that are involved with that. So for us, we have a mix of an IUL and a term so that our face value is higher because we have 3 kids. And so that we can have more of that coverage that we need, but also have all those benefits.
That's great.
IUL.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
I wish everybody would like that.
Well, and that's why we wanted to do this show. So you can share this with your clients, our clients. We're partners you're the life department of Fadaie now. So we want you to, this is a long form conversation for those who are, listening in and they're on the fence about life insurance. We're here to debunk the myths.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the fear? Because life insurance is more solvent and solid and has more historicity than banks, and they insure banks.
That's.
I think affluent people understand permanent life. In fact, they created it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because you can pull it out tax-free. That's the other benefit.
Let's talk about the tax benefit.
And unfortunately, it's the people that don't have wealth that need to transfer that wealth to the next generation and change their generational history.
Yeah.
Life insurance is the perfect vehicle to create legacy, to take somebody who hasn't, grown up with a silver spoon and create a legacy when they when they pass on, not only for the next generation, but hopefully they can benefit while they're in their lifetime too. It's just a great vehicle for legacy.
Definitely.
But yet, most agents fail to illustrate that, where the recipient, consumer, understands it because it's abstract for them. That's the issue. It's abstract, misinformation, like you said. There's confusion, and getting this conversation is great. We're on a frequency that makes sense, but getting the person to understand that and buy into it, that's the trick. And that's what we need to solve for. To help Americans. We're life agents. We're literally, who else would do this? Nobody, right?
And I think the best way to convey that is through story. And my personal story, the reason why I'm passionate about life insurance is because my dad left us with nothing except for a lot of debt. My mom had to go to court just to get all of that, just a big mess. And it took her 8 years to sell the house that they owned together.
So question for you. I'm going to constructively critique. Why aren't you making videos daily telling your tale?
That's a good question.
Yeah. It's a question to answer for yourself. And again, it's constructive critique. But if you're passionate about it and you have a story to tell, you can easily and freely broadcast that every day and get it out there. Declare it into the airwaves, So, and every time you tell the story, you'll be looking for more content, which will cause you to go deeper. And you could just do little 60-second clips, right? And just push it out and then link it up with us. Push it out, push it out, push it out. Have your friends push it out, and then send it to your clients. In fact, when you talk to clients on a day-to-day, push out your YouTube channel, create a YouTube channel. So like right now, 2026, we have so much at our disposal, but we're not talking, you're incognito about all this stuff. So how do you expect to really grow if we don't discuss it? And the more you discuss it, the more you lock it into your consciousness. And it'll exude out of you in those presentations that we want to do. You just keep talking about it. It's largely why we do this show.
Yeah. Yeah. The dialogue is very useful because talking to a camera, there's not a whole lot. The camera doesn't give a lot of feedback.
It's true. That's very true.
Until it does.
Yeah.
Because once you master this level, you can do it in front of a camera.
Yeah.
Because you advance. Like
it takes time.
Yeah. I mean, this is a great place to have discussion. And then eventually you become so good at it. You'll be just walking in your sleep and talking about it. You dream about it. But that's what happened to me with public speaking.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't believe it the other day. I did a thing in front of over 100 people. I had no timidity.
And no notes?
No notes. I don't believe in notes. Because I channel data. Because I'm connected to the larger consciousness system. So I don't premeditate, pre-analyze. All of that is flesh, ego, intellect, which is laced with fear.
And that is...
What if? I got rid of that.
That's how I was taught to do sales, period, was from that very perspective. So right now I'm unlearning as many bad habits as I am learning new and better ones.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. Amen. Yeah, when you show up at the threshold of showtime and you're prepared, your nervous system is prepared, there's no fear, and you become literally a conduit and information passes through you. It's beautiful. And then you kind of step outside of yourself. And I did that during the presentation. And I'm looking at an aerial view of me speaking. And I'm like, holy shit, I don't have to do nothing here. Like, God, you're awesome.
Yeah.
Like this whole time, I thought I had to do all this stuff, but It turns out God's like, I don't really need much of your rhetoric, my beloved son, because he's talking to my ego.
Yeah.
My true self is already one with God. And this is the big myth that you discover when you wake up. Liberation is the cessation of this false identity that thinks it needs to be in control in order for God to bless him or her and all this. It's all baloney. It's a baloney
Again,
sandwich.
it's unlearning really bad programming.
I know.
Yes, it takes time.
Really sucky programming.
Malware.
Yes.
Malware.
So true.
And so, yeah. Anyways, look, here's the thing. There's a verse in the Bible. If you can't do with a little, how can you do with a lot? This is iron sharpening iron. And I speak to
ourselves too.
I'm the biggest, I'm my own critic. So in this coterie of discussion, new word.
Coterie.
Coterie. Start using powerful words. Instead of circle, that's kindergarten, which is fine. But a coterie is same thing, and it's powerful. And it helps when you employ words like that, invoke words like that. But in this coterie, we can create constructive, engineered scrutiny.
Yeah.
And ask ourselves, why am I not doing that? Because we ask for so much, but we really aren't stepping up and leveling up. But we can. Like, if we actually went to the moon, let's say we did. I don't believe we did. It was another
That's a whole other
psyop.
rabbit hole.
Yeah. That was a geopolitical psyop, in my educated opinion. But it's a theory. This little thing right here has 100 times more power than the equipment we used to go to the moon in the 60s.
Wow. Yeah.
Think about it that way. How come we're not using it in the most constructive way, driving growth? And all you're doing is informing, you're educating people, right? So anyways, that's something that perhaps is a seed that we can...
I'm definitely willing to explore that.
I would do it. Yeah. You need to be the life insurance guru of the world. You need to that's my opinion. Set it up like me. I'm the insurance educator. That's what I've refined my contribution to insurance as the insurance educator. I'm an educator of insurance. That's what I do.
And the dojo proves that that's
the dojo is
successful.
That's right. And now I'm franchising. And so I've refined my offer. My offer is to teach people how to become successful insurance entrepreneurs. I'm the guy that can do that in America. I'm the number one guy. Nobody can do it better than me. I haven't met them yet. If they're out there, I'll bless them. I'll support them. But I haven't met anybody like that yet. I'm the only one. I've created a category for myself. And not only do I educate, I also provide the raw material. It's the best of both worlds. Why would you want to go buy a McDonald's? Ugh. You $2 million, your profit margin is crap, and you're selling garbage to people?
Ugh. That makes them uninsurable?
Yeah. Oh, no, come on.
There you go. You got it.
Ow, your ring hit me. Oh, why would you wear a ring on your thumb? Because you're cool.
Yeah.
So I've etched that out. And that's and part of me doing that was this show. It's forcing me to speak about it with Jamie and other guests.
Yeah.
So it's helping me refine my offer. What am I actually? And can I explain it to an 8-year-old? You got to get to that point with your offer. And you'll be surprised where it leads you. It leads you to making what's abstract tangible. That's what and that's why doing this, starting out on YouTube daily, You're going to have to overcome your own ego about it. How do I look, this and that? How do I sound? All of that is going to come up. It's all nonsense. It's all ego. And what does the ego do? Creates a distraction to keep you worried, to keep you fearful, to keep you stuck.
Distracted.
Yeah, distracted. And those are the things that set apart the champs from the chumps.
I definitely don't want to feel like a chump.
So here's what I say to all of us. Embrace the chump. It's okay to suck. Embrace the suckitude. That's the first step. Yeah. Embrace the suckitude.
Suckitude.
It's the first step. It's the first step of becoming a champ. Is to embrace that you're a chump. We all have a chump inside of us.
Yeah.
That chump is our ego, flesh, mind, which is gonna come up and have problems and I don't know, all this stuff. And you know that we've talked about this before. And you got to overcome that by having your champ, Christos, have dominion, the true self, which is already connected with God, have dominion over the chumpness. Good way to say it.
Now, when you say daily videos,
Yeah.
I mean, that would require additional content because...
Right. And what do? You go to AI and you put a prompt in, and AI will pump your ingenuity. It'll spit out some stuff and you'll like some of it and you'll incorporate it. Some of it you'll improvise on. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We have so much before you. We're not in the 90s anymore. We were in the 90s writing business. Or the 2000s, let's say. We're not that old.
I wasn't writing in the 90s.
You were writing your ABCs, no. But in the 2000s, we didn't have, we're going to curse on this show now. We didn't have shit back then. It's PG-13. You can say shit.
Yeah.
Now we do. What excuse do we have?
Yeah,
I'm talking to ourselves. Dude, we're seriously a bunch of brats. We want all this shit, but we ain't willing to do shit about it. It's garbage. I'm looking at this going, this is ridiculous. Why would God want to bless us? God wants to bless us, but why don't we get our ego out of the way?
Yeah.
That's what God's waiting for.
If I could just unzip it and take it off, I would.
You can. And you do that through fasting.
Through action.
You do it through meditation. You do it through diet, sun exposure, cold plunge, sauna, exercise, contemplation, reflection.
Yeah.
Drink your urine, whatever it takes.
Drink your urine.
Yeah.
That's what?
It's high level stuff. It's called urine.
Ancient Ayurvedic practice.
Shivambu.
See, I was called a weirdo for...
Oh, no. This is the king of weirdos right here. You have no idea.
Name it and he's done it.
I'm the most, I'm an eccentric guy, right? Because I've always believed in direct experience versus belief. And because I'm a black sheep and I've always been unorthodox, that's done well for me. Because I've explored everything out there and still will. And by doing that, I don't have to believe anything. I can go find out myself.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah. So I've done it all. And so if I garner positivity from it, then I keep it. You eat the apple, spit out the seed. Yeah. So that's been my flow. Call it the Fadaie flow. I've coined these things over the years. And
I'm not mad at you.
Okay, thanks. You shouldn't be, because that's a bad vibration. Be glad, not mad. Yeah. But that's how you unzip it.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be overnight, but it's a process.
There's definitely been layers.
Of course.
No, I thought I had a certain level, and then I realized it was so much more.
Oh yeah.
That I was actually on a plateau.
Yeah.
And that there was so much more for
part
me
of the flesh ego. I call it flesh ego now for a lot of Christians were like, ego, what's that? It's the flesh. But part of the flesh ego has you believing that. Mm-hmm. Man, I'm so ahead, you know.
I didn't realize how freaking religious I was, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and there's a really large amount of people that believe that there's a plateau that you get to. There's a large amount of people that believe that that's true. That like you get to this one place and you're set. Like you've got your beliefs, you've got your church family, you've got your whatever it is, right? And all of these things that you're reliant upon in your life, in your lifestyle that make you believe that you're set for life and that you've arrived. But that's the fallacy of it. That's exactly the flesh. That's exactly the ego trying to tell you that you're in this perfect place and that you're so important and you're so this and you're whatever it is that you tell yourself until you hit a wall. And then you're like, oh, there is no plateau. It's constant evolution, constant change, constant getting better. Seeing the fallacies in your micro movements or even your mental process of the lies that you tell yourself. You're like, wait, why do I tell myself these lies? Why am I sabotaging my own success? Like, this doesn't make any sense. And then you're able to step outside of it and see that's a lie. You point it out, you figure it out, you step outside of it, and you take action. And then that's how you change it. Action by action, step by step, lie by lie. You just go one at a time. And then the more you do it, the easier it gets and the more aware you become. And that's that scripture, I forget what it is exactly, but it talks about taking your thoughts captive, right? So taking your thoughts captive to a point in which you're very aware of your thought process and you're not going on autonomic nervous system. You're not automatically driving to the office just because you know exactly where it's at in your daily life. That's kind of a metaphor, right? Like we tend to do things automatically because we've been doing them for so long and we're wired that way. So in order to unwire our nervous system and our brain so that we're able to evolve, we have to come out of that.
Because the stories that the ego flesh spins are very compelling.
Yes, they are.
And it tangles us.
Yes.
And we think that's our identity, and it's not. And that's the problem. That's suffering. It's so compelling and it's so unscrutinized. That's an operative word today. It's and so we get depressed by those things. We get saddened. Mm-hmm. It's fear and hurt, and mediocrity happens because it goes by very cleverly, and we're like, oh, that must be me. It's me. That's me feeling that thing. That's not. Those are stories. They're spin. And when you become astute, you're able to parse that out, detangle it. It's not me. Hey, it's not, that's nonsense. That's the cloud thing I keep talking about.
Yeah.
See, when you get to that, you will get to that. When you get to that level of distinguishing between ego thought and pure consciousness, which is what you are, pure love, all fear will be cast out. Mm-hmm. What the masters are telling us is the same thing from different language perspectives and cultural perspectives.
From different lexicons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
False religion is the misinterpretation of these things because of a lack of direct experience.
And because of control.
Exactly. Which is all fear-based.
That's what religion has become, has evolved into. I don't think that was their original design. I don't think that that's what was desired in the beginning, but that's what religion has turned into, is control. A control-based mechanism based on belief. And so that people are...
Yeah. And if you disagree, you're out.
Exactly. But see, Jesus was an outcast.
I keep remembering that.
Jesus was an outcast. They pushed him out of every church, every temple, everywhere he went.
I bet you if he came up, this is what I think. He was definitely an Essene, likely, because he wasn't a Pharisee and a Sadducee. He was probably a hippie. People that today the church would look down upon. Plant eating, smelly, maybe some dreadlocks, that kind of a thing. From the outside perspective, like
him and John the Baptist,
they're terrorists.
eating locusts.
Yeah, they're terrorists. They're weirdos. They're whatever, right? And he goes and picks a bunch of fishermen, stinky people. Like that, right? According from the
Literally.
perspective of the hierarchy, those are stinky people. Or whatever they think, right? They think that. Today they do that too, right? And they say, oh, he must be satanic because he's driving demons out. And what did Jesus say about that, right? Because how could that be if...
Kingdom divided against itself cannot stand.
Amen. And so he does all these things that are completely unorthodox.
Yeah.
Eats the shofar bread, heals on Sabbath. I mean, he broke all of their fancy laws. And then he overthrows the, tables. We always come back to Jesus in this show. I don't know what it is. But so if he came back today, and nobody would recognize him.
Yeah.
They'd probably try to kill him again. Because what he spoke about is non-dualism.
Yeah.
Yeah. Non-dualism is kind of where I go back to in terms of my philosophy of life is non-dualism. And I think Christ was the ultimate non-dualist.
For people who don't know what that is, how would you describe non-dualism?
The crux of non-dualism is this is just a false reality that we're operating in.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't two. There's
Evil and
ultimately only one thing, and we are part of that one thing. The recognition of this ultimate reality causes liberation from non-duality, from duality, from the dual. This is the dualistic system where we think this is
the tree of the knowledge of good versus evil,
right?
Instead of the tree of life,
right?
Okay,
good in Christian context,
yeah.
We are that reality, having this dualistic experience. The reason people suffer is because they haven't come to the understanding of the tree of life yet. They're in the fruit of good and bad.
And sometimes you are eating that fruit from a past life, not necessarily from the present.
Right.
Correct. Yeah.
Until you finally wake up to your true essential nature, in which case you've broken the dualistic unreality, half reality.
Yeah, because you fully start to integrate the light and the dark. You realize that the shadows or the darkness in your life were necessary to bring you to where you are now. That God allowed those things in your life so that you would become the person that you are today.
What would you say the evidence of integration is?
The evidence of integration would probably, for me, would be not being reactive. So maybe acknowledging that things trigger you, but then not reacting because you realize that that's a source of I think it's ever changing and ever evolving, right? So your integration is an active, present thing. So as you come across those things, because same with you, as you said earlier, is I always thought there was a plateau. I was going to arrive somewhere, right? But then once I realized that wasn't a thing, that maybe that source of pain in my life wasn't fully healed in some area of my life. And then it confronts me again and I get triggered. Instead of me reacting to that, standing back and realizing there's more integration to happen. There's more there that I need to learn. It's a lesson that God allowed in my life for a reason. So instead of grasping at something to numb myself or going to therapy or whatever it is that tools I may have used in the past, it's more of self-reflection, or as Cash says, self-referral, where you're like, okay, yes, this triggered me, but why did it trigger me? And where's the integration piece that I need to learn from this? And that is part of the unraveling of the lies that we tell ourselves, which causes suffering.
So that means that it has a purpose. The unreality of the dualism has a purpose.
Yeah.
It's not evil. We call it evil and all this stuff.
There's just so much of Christendom that has that good versus evil, the demons and the angels, and they're all dueling it out and battling each other all the time.
Yeah.
And that's like gives you a mindset of warfare all the time.
It's a theater.
Yes, it does.
It's just a theater. When you wake up, you see the motion picture. It's just a theater. It's not ultimate reality.
There's no hero without darkness, right? There's no story without the ups and the downs. Tell me one story in all of humanity that didn't have a problem that was overcome by a hero and an ending. There's not one story. Every plot.
Otherwise, you wouldn't watch it.
Right.
There's nothing to watch.
So this is the purpose of
about
Earth.
it, and that's why Jesus said, "To he who overcomes." That's what he meant.
Non-dualism.
He who overcomes.
Who overcomes this fake reality. It's not real.
Overcomes, comes over.
Yeah. Transcends.
Position, like authority.
Yeah. You realize what it is for what it is, and you're free now. It's like, oh, that's not ultimate. I'm infinite. There's no death. And what does the Bible say 365 times in the Bible? Do not fear. That's when you wake up.
Yeah.
You finally do, because there's nothing to fear anymore. When you're fully awakened, you don't fear anymore. What can be taken away from you? Nothing.
Yeah.
You are everything. That recognition, that resonance is awakening.
Mm-hmm.
That's the overcoming. That's Christos. We can do it. We have the activation code. We just haven't activated it yet, and we will. And so the transcending of that is non-dualism. And if you look at every tradition on earth, on the most esoteric part of it, it has to do with non-dualism.
Mm-hmm.
That's why this world of contrast is necessary to draw out free will love. It needs to have consequences.
Yeah. Balance.
So that there is a way to appreciate love and light, come back home and remember who we are. We're here to remember who we are.
Most people don't, though.
No, but if a few people do, creates a cascade where change really takes place on a energetic level.
Mm-hmm. And then it's a butterfly effect from there.
Yeah. I love that.
Then it's contagious throughout the world, because then people realize, oh, everyone else is human just like me. I think that's part of the fallacy of the age, and it's coming to an end, in my opinion, of the age of the celebrity, the people that we idolize, people that we look up to, the Taylor Swifts and all these people are obsessed with them. Yeah. They put them up on a pedestal and they worship them because they think that
idols.
Yeah, this person is somehow more than human. But the reality of it is that's not true. And I think it's slowly coming to an end with the advent of YouTube and the advent of all these things, is people are realizing they're just human like me.
They put on their pants one leg at a time.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm hearing people right now, ethereally. I'm hearing people.
Oh yeah.
They're right, because the biggest thing now is reptilians, hybrids, UFOs.
Oh yeah.
That's the next thing.
Yes.
Because remember, we have to distract from the war. So now we have to play the UFO card. Okay? Because everybody's been prepared for that for 40 years now. The sci-fi movies went out. So what's a non-dualistic response to this hot topic? I'll tell you. They probably do exist. But it doesn't matter. They also are part of the one infinite creator.
Yeah.
We have an advantage as humans. These reptilian beings, they derive their energy from us.
Mm-hmm.
The negative ones derive their energy from keeping you dualistic, fear-based. They call it luge.
Luge.
Luge. That's their energy source. So am I afraid? No, because I'm already connected to the one infinite creator, and it dawned on me that there's nothing to fear. Sure, I'm working out deeper levels of fear. Good, that's fine. But the bulk of it, I get now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm unafraid of UFOs and reptilians because I'm allies with what I've always been. You know what I mean? So that is the power of consciousness. So it's a war of consciousness. They know the pineal gland, pituitary gland. They know what's inside this apparatus and what it's capable of.
Yeah.
And so if people like us wake up, they lose power.
Yes.
The negative ones.
Much like the actual movie, The Matrix.
Matrix. Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Unplug.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's almost 100%.
And the
100%
biggest
accurate,
weapon
actually.
against them, you ready for this? Is to forgive them. They can't handle that.
Mm-mm.
They can't handle it. That's the power. But you can only come to a place of unconditional forgiveness is when you're awake.
So would you say that's also evidence of an awakening?
Yes.
Enlightenment?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
When
Is
you're
the
able
ability
to
forgive
yes.
people that are
if somebody
quote unquote unforgivable.
if somebody raped
Yeah.
you and you're able to come to a place of forgiveness, that's a sign that you're enlightened.
Yeah.
If somebody murdered a family member and you can do that, that means you have no more fear. You see the bigger picture. That's a powerful place to be. And you can get there through your nervous system, through the activation process. So yes, that's a sign.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Go back to the red letters. Guys, go back to exactly discernment.
My nervous system is still in refinement, I would say.
Yeah.
In refinement towards myself than other people. I'm having to forgive myself.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
That's much harder than having to forgive somebody outside of me.
When I first met you, I pointed that out to you. And you kind of got teary-eyed on the phone. I was like, because I went there and you're like, damn. And it's like,
She got cashified.
Yeah.
let's move on. Let's grow. Who gives a shit? I mean, the ego gives a shit and it stands to lose. And it knows it's
and it keeps reminding me.
Yeah, it's exposed, but like I said to you, it's halfway done now because you're onto it. When you're onto the ego, you're already graduating into higher levels of consciousness.
Yeah, and at that point, it's grasping at straws. Like, wait, but did you remember this? Remember this? Remember this?
Because at that
Trying
point,
to keep you in that
when it's
spot.
grasping for straws,
Yeah,
you'll find out all of the errors it makes.
exactly.
The flesh ego makes bunch of all mistakes, all lies. It's like a really bad AI.
Yeah,
It's wrong. Mathematics are wrong. All the shit that it spins, you can just be like, dude, this ain't even true.
yeah,
Ego's like, what? Look away. That's what happens.
and it's funny because for me personally, it's like the more I try to ignore my ego, the louder it gets.
Oh.
But if I confront it, it gets real small. It's very fascinating.
Yeah.
Because you think that there's this like looming thing that you don't want to deal with, whatever it is. And then you face it head on and you're like, oh, that's it? That's all? And here I was thinking it was this huge thing that I had to conquer. And then you look at it, you're like, oh.
Because you read the headlines
Yes.
of the story. And when we don't read the content, this is where we go. This is a great metaphor. We only read the headlines of the stories that the ego spins. We don't read the content. When you read the content, you realize in fine print, there's an asterisk. It says, this is based on assumptions of if this and that, that happened, and this and that. And it's like, oh, so why was I sweating? Why did I create all of these positions based on this headline assumption? No wonder my life is going this way. There's a parasite in me that's dictating what I should eat, what I should do, what I should think. That's what's going on.
Or it kind of reminds me, remember those old cartoons where they had like the little angel on one and the little devil on the other? Little devil was always talking crap and spinning things.
I'm a mini Jesus. I come with a sword to destroy your malware. Mike's going to get creative with these short clips today. There's a lot of humor. But
I welcome it. I told you that from the very beginning.
Yeah.
I need somebody who's got a more aerial view of me than I do.
Yeah.
That's what community is all about.
Well, and that's what the student to teacher tradition is, and in martial arts and mysticism, esoteric practice. Even ancient Christianity was like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't a building. You would
the disciples.
You walked with people.
Yeah.
You walked with people. It was the way.
The way.
And you would gather in the forest. You would gather in the mountains. You would gather in a home. That's what the church really was. And it was an organ. It was a living, breathing consciousness organism.
I do.
A coterie.
A coterie. Speaking of coterie, I know a lot of people go through the 12 steps. How do you think that correlates to the coterie of Christ?
It's a great step towards becoming free from addiction, in which case you can further evolve to enlightenment. Because the ego flesh person in that person that goes to 12 step is so rampantly strong in their lives that they had to turn to numbing, which caused them to fall and hit bottom. And now they're going to 12 step. That's a great step. That's a great move. It's a system that works, but that's not the end.
Right.
That's the beginning.
That's the beginning.
Seems like the beginning.
Get through the 12 step. Now work on ego dismantling and become fully enlightened.
I know some people though go their whole lives doing the 12 steps.
Because they haven't decided to go further.
Well, they turned it into a religious structure.
That's where I'm getting at.
Yeah. This is where the modern church or the mosque and the synagogue is. People are comfortable staying at that level. 12 step is another church. They stay at that level. But I believe Christ wants us to mature further.
And I mean, if we actually read the scriptures, Paul, when the church got the spiritual gifts, it's because they were naughty, not because they were actually exemplifying Christ. It was because they were naughty. Okay, you get some gifts to help you do it.
Yeah.
But there's entire
that tells you that
movements.
the unreality of the dualistic system has a purpose.
Yeah.
It's there to push us towards liberation. So it has a purpose. God allows it. Right? Dualism has a purpose.
It's not the end.
No, it's just a catalyst for us to lower our entropy, be more loving and compassionate, and grow up, and forgive more, and be more be friendly, kind, and let go of the ego and know that we are one with the all living Christ.
Yeah.
And then get rid of all the fear, flush it out, and then become perfect love on earth as it is in heaven, and become a conduit where we can bring more light into this third dimension and forgive more people and love more people and become more powerful. That is called lowering our entropy, lowering our rate of disorder. It's computer science. So we can talk about this subject from the computer science lens, from the religious lens, from the newspaper story lens. Right? There's many metaphors. But
Definitely.
that was a great conversation.
I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, that was really good.
Thank you.
We typically talk about insurance and then we talk about assurance.
Assurance. I like assurance.
They're tied in together.
Yes, they are.
They're tied in together. One protects you for third dimensional things on this earth. The other protects you on multi-dimensional things, which is salvation of the soul. So
I'm not disqualified from assurance, even if I can't qualify for insurance.
Yes.
I like
in fact,
that.
if you qualify, when you complete your assurance, insurance won't even be a big deal no more.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get healthy, mind, body, spirit healthy. And so you will definitely get your body, especially when you start fasting regularly, for a person that does that, they'll, again, then you get into urine, then you get to other higher level things.
I've done several long fasts that didn't end well for me.
Yeah.
Mostly because I didn't have anybody to tell me what was happening. There was so much spiritually that was happening that my nervous system freaked out.
I recommend doing one fast per week, 24 hours a week. Start there for a month. Let your body catch up, cleanse. Then make it 48 hours a week. Then go for a while. Once the cleansing happens more and more, then you can handle more and more. If you do it suddenly, the detox is so much that it becomes fearful because you did too much. Too much built up.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was definitely.
That's what it is. And if you couple that with sauna and exercise and then other dietary strategies, you make it even better. And if you do a liver cleanse, your life will change. That's really, really the key is to get your liver cleansed. And so you can do that with other herbs and fasting and the other thing. See, this is the thing that we want people to really do to create assurance. And it'll get you better insurance rates.
That's not a bad side effect.
All right. Well, folks, thank you so much for joining the Fadaie podcast. We'll have you back.
Okay.
Yeah,
I would be happy to come
Maybe
back.
we'll do part 2 next week or the week after. And we'll continue our conversations.
Yes.
Until then, peace out.